Alright, first of all, before we go through this,
We're gonna go through all these?
Yeah.
Okay, good, sorry. I want to.
how do you feel about the Chalk Talk process and how could you use it with students?
It's awesome.
Jeez, it's
As long as everybody listens and pays attention.
I got an email I had to deal with, I'm sorry.
One of the things we use too is our whiteboards. Sometimes we have more than one in our room. Favorite one that we did was on women's rights. On one board we wrote male stereotypes, the other board we wrote female stereotypes. Mainly we have a discussion after that. Because they write all the stuff up there and then you process it. It was pretty good. So you can use this with all kinds of stuff. Let's start with this one because this is the space we just looked at. I think that's on your minds a lot, so let's start with that one. Did everyone kind of read all the comments other people wrote? So I don't know if I want to go through and read them all, but comments, thoughts that you want to bring out from this about the space. Like in particular, how can you take the concepts that you see here and make it work in your space at your school? I know you guys are thinking a lot about that.
Is there a way you could like pin it up so that it can refresh us?
Even though we don't have all the resources of PBL, if Brian makes a unit on PBL, I'm gonna steal everything I can from him and try to do it in my own classroom, regardless. And one way I could do it is break up my classroom into parts, where certain areas are devoted to certain things. Not only within groups, but if we have, like what you all do is if you break up a part of the people who don't get a concept while they're working on it as a whole, and then dignify, say that this part of the room is for that. I think that would help myself a lot, and it's something I don't do and will do now.
Good point. Rearranging the space by need for what you need.
Yes.
What else?
I think that chairs that are attached to desks are limited.
Is that what you guys have?
I finally got ones that they can actually have a little book on. I still found
But,
it.
I mean, some of them are this big, potatoes big,
Okay.
and they barely fit in the rooms.
Other thoughts? Do you see anything
Yeah.
missing?
You don't count.
Did anyone notice anything that was missing in the classrooms that I bet's in most years, I'm guessing?
Teacher desks?
Teacher desks. So,
Front of the room.
yeah, we don't in front of the room, we don't have teacher desk. Not too many of the classes are in rows. So just rearranging your furniture, getting rid of your space, that's why we do have our teacher, I said teacher lounge, but really that's just where I put my junk. I actually don't even need it, I don't need so much. I work in my room, I sit on the couch. So maybe rethinking your own personal space, what do you actually need in the room?
It'd be hard, I know that you have, it'd be hard to give up my personal space.
You gotta be digital to do it.
This is,
It
this is pretty
if you
much
go
our
one-on-one.
space in the room that we need.
just makes me, I really can't imagine why I would need all of it. I just wanna get rid of it too.
Do it.
Yesterday,
A high table like that. Can I, will that fit in the van? That's all I need right there.
I'm not driving that.
Well, I have an expedition.
I think being digital is important, but so often, I mean, we're limited by that as well. I mean, not just, the students don't have technology, but that our technology works randomly. So that's a limitation, but it doesn't mean that you can't, I mean, he got rid of his desk this year. But now that he's moved into the big giant space, he's reformed, sort of a desk, not really a desk, it's more of a collaboration space.
Still needed
with
some sort
students.
of space.
Yeah.
If you go fully digital, you're not turning papers in, you don't have all your paperwork, you don't have all those things, then
That helps
your
a
desk
lot.
is your computer. Your file cabinet is your Dropbox. Which is all, that's a big part of it.
definitely an important point.
Because right now, we're shuffling papers is a big limitation for what we need.
That's why you have a file cabinet, that's why you have drawers, that's why you have, everything is for papers. If you get rid of papers and you go digital, that's how you get rid of your desk.
Right.
Other things up here were like writing on the windows. I mentioned to some people the floors, some schools, they can write on their tile floors, and because you can just erase it with a visual thing. So, check out on those things probably before you do it. But hallway hallways, outdoors, if the weather permits, is another space that we often don't use. Another thing that a lot of teachers like to do is go to your local hardware store and buy yourself a shower board. You can cut it up in pieces and you have instant mini whiteboards. Cost you a couple bucks. Really nice, especially for like a math class, to quick have students solve something and I'll show it up and you can see their work real quick. Or you come up and show the class what you did on yours, because you see that her solution is interesting. So, quick way to get feedback. That's a low-tech, easy one. I have a friend who's an elementary school teacher who bought it and covered some tables with it, made his own little mini tables for kids. Letting students sit in places other than their desk.
Did you say a
On the-
shower board? I'm sorry, you
Yeah.
lost me there. Shower board, okay.
Mhm.
Wait,
And he put it on top of his table, so he made the tables they can write on now, like made whiteboard space out of his tables. Great for group work. Letting students sit on things like radiators, as long as it's safe. Sit on the floor, have other seating options, bean bags, Goodwill stuff that you find, carpet. All those things can change the space.
I think it's important, another important reality is that when you design the space, and particularly if it's a nice space, but even if you just designed it with students in mind, it makes the kids feel like they're important and that you respect them. The difference it made students' attitudes when we made those PBL rooms, and those kids go in those rooms, yeah, they want to play on the rolly chairs, and they want, but they, even when I went in and lectured a couple of them on, how to put computers back, they take that more seriously because they feel like that we think they're special, that they're worth something by having a space designed for their need.
Architecture communicates a message, and it communicates expectations. And so, when you have a desk and you're up in front here and all your kids are in rows facing you, what is that message?
Yep.
This is the center of what we do here. This is what's important. You better be facing and paying attention to me at all times, because that's what we do here. When you simply rearrange the desk, now you're saying, this is what's important here, the people you're with. So just that simple thing communicates a message. And whenever you can do, as you said, and redesign something, and they see, then that also communicates the message of, oh, we're doing things different here. So, I'm a strong believer in architecture matching what you do. And I understand as teachers, you guys you don't get to design your space and fix everything, but the best you can do to try to communicate those messages, I think is really important. Any other comments?
I found it was, because like, in my old room, I switched it, got rid of the front of the room, everything, and then when moved, found it was still good to have a spot you can still be the front when you do need to present something, or do you guys still kind of keep a space that kids, when they're presenting, that's the front of the room, when that type of thing, or not really?
Sure, in our room, it's that middle, but we have the 3 boards so we can project for the kids because it's too long for them to all see that one little whiteboard. But we also have out in the hallway spaces, projectors and screens that come down. So if we really want to have a bunch of them see something, we can go out in that hallway space and pull down the screen and they can see a big thing there. And sometimes we take them out there and make them present out there too, because it just changing space. Changing space is also good, just to get kids thinking. They're going to think different in a different space. So that's why going outside is sometimes a good thing to do. Or going to the hall or going wherever and changing space. It can be a good change of shift of focus, brainstorming or whatever. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with having that center spot, but I guess it's using it all the time. Let's shift then to